Welcome to the show, YouTube friends. Smash like and subscribe and dive into the comment section with your favorite teams that never won the World Cup. Vamos! The FIFA World Cup is the biggest show on earth. The prospect of eternal glory stands before each team that qualifies, but in reality, there can only be one winner. In part of one of the series, we saw how Hungary's golden generation, the Brazil team of the 1950s, Eusebius Portugal side, all left their mark on the competition, but ultimately fell short of lifting the golden statue. Today, we conclude our countdown of the greatest teams that never won the World Cup. Qué Golazo begins right now. Netherlands, 1974-1978. This team was more than just a team. They were a revolution, thanks to the teachings of total football's mastermind, Rinus Michels. The Dutch team of the 1970s reached not one but two World Cup finals. However, on both occasions, they fell at the final hurdle to the hosts, West Germany and Argentina, respectively. That's not to say they weren't amazing, though. In 1974 of the tournament, the Dutch, through their intricate passing and fantastic movement, demolished Argentina 4-0 and, of course, defeated defending champions 2-0 before making it to the final. Replete with stars from Ajax's all-conquering side of the 1970s like Johnny Rep and Johan Niskins, Oranje had the talent to back up their revolutionary playing style. But no player totally encapsulated the football philosophy of the Netherlands quite like Johan Cruyff. And it was here where he graced the world with his famous Cruyff turn. Alas, though, the Germans did a very good job at playing the beasts to the Dutch men's beauty. And despite taking an early lead in the final, the Netherlands lost 2-1. Still, one of the best teams to ever grace the earth. The same outcome would happen 4 years later in Buenos Aires, when Mario Kempes' brace secured the victory for l'Albiceleste. This time, Argentina got their revenge. Brazil, 1982. With the likes of Zico, Socrates, Eder, and Falcao, this Brazilian team really should have taken the trophy home. And things got off to a strong start in Spain, with Brazil taking 3 wins from 3 matches in the first round. All signs pointed to this team returning Brazil to glory and proving that there was still life after Pelé. After beating Argentina in the second round, they ran up against Italy, and Paolo Rossi, the tournament's top scorer, exposed Brazil's defensive weaknesses when not in possession, and Rossi scored a hat-trick. And just like that, one of the most talented teams in the competition failed to win the World Cup. After the defeat, coach Tele Santana consoled his players by telling them, "The whole world has been enchanted by you. Be aware of that." Italy, 1990. On home soil, the Italians desperately wanted to win, and perhaps that was their biggest issue, as they focused so much on defending throughout the tournament as opposed to attacking it. The competition kicked off with 2 consecutive 1-0 victories, and the Azzurri ended the group stages with a 2-0 win over Czechoslovakia. No goals conceded. An unlikely hero emerged for the hosts in the form of Salvatore Toto Schillaci, who, despite being the last man selected to coach Azegli's Vicini squad, ended the tournament as the Golden Boot winner, having scored 5 times. Italy continued their 2-0, 1-0 scoring trend, and then they met Argentina and Diego Maradona in the semi-finals, yet to concede a goal. They were 1-0 up with just over 20 minutes to go when Claudio Caniggia scored in the 67th minute, and Argentina sent this game to extra time. In the end, the game went to penalties and Argentina prevailed. Italy, a giant of the World Cup history books, just couldn't get enough done at home. And the heartache would be compounded 4 years later when Italy lost in penalties for the first time ever in a World Cup final, when Roberto Baggio fell in the crestfallen grass of the Rose Bowl to the hands of Brazil, an image so well known in the history of the World Cup. England, 1990. It nearly came home in 1990 when Bobby Robson's team delighted the world with some overwhelming talent. From Paul Gascoigne to Gary Lineker, Chris Waddle and Stuart Pearce, this was an England team full of star-studded players. After 2 decades in the footballing doldrums, the country really felt that these 3 Lions were ready to repeat the success of 1966. After an iffy start to the group stages with 2 draws against Ireland and the Netherlands respectively, England got a win against Egypt to finalize the group stage. It was in the knockout stages where they really battled, and after wins over Belgium and Cameroon with some battle scars along the way, they met West Germany in the semi-finals. This was another tight affair, going into extra time after going 1-0 in the first 90. The narrative kept on going in extra time, and so the dreaded penalties took precedent, with West Germany winning in the end, and this very talented England side once again failed to win the final and repeat the successes of 1966. Gazza's tearful reaction after being booked, thus meaning he would miss the final, will be the enduring, lasting image of this England side and their performance at Italia 1990. So what do you think of our 10 greatest teams that failed to win the World Cup? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Make sure that you throw in what you think in the comment section and follow us on Qué Golazo Pod on Twitter and give us a reply there as well. YouTube.com/Qué Golazo, Qué Golazo Pod on Twitter. And what about this year's World Cup? Who are your top teams to win the whole thing? Who do you think will take that golden statue home? See you next time.